Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I am your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker.
And I am your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern that puts the moist in your towelette, codename Legion Cub.
Ew. So, that one threw me off quite badly. Let's just shut it down now. We're done. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Click that follow button. Leave us a 5-star review. It helps out. Although the best thing that you can do is share us. Share the podcast, the audio version. Share the link for these live streams. Share reviews on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Share us all over the place. That's the best way, is to spread the word and help us grow. On Instagram, follow us at Audible Interlude Podcast. That's a great way to interact. We'll be posting every Monday that we're doing a live stream. Well, every day we're doing a live stream. We'll post a sound off where you get to give input on what you want us to talk about. And also, while you're at Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, check out the pinned stories. Go to our TeePublic store and get yourself some merch. We've got shirts. We've got phone cases, hats, shorts, all kinds of different stuff. They have sales all the time, and I recommend you wait for them. I'm trying to think. It's been so long since we put up a new shirt, but it's just because Cobra Intern does so well. Why mess with a classic?
True.
That, you know what? In keeping with our theme from last week's show, we need to do a new Cobra shirt. We need to pull the Cobra Intern shirt from the market and launch new Cobra
For a month or 3 months.
For 3 months. And then, you know what?
New Cobra
this might
less
actually
sugar.
be the new shirt. I need to remember to work on a new Cobra design. And then we'll put Cobra Intern back up, but it'll be Cobra Intern Classic.
I don't know. See, I think there's more to play with there, because I think we have new Cobra.
Just Cobra
and then
Classic.
it goes away. And so that gives us the excuse to put out the shirt, the Cobra Intern that got away.
Oh, yeah.
The return.
We need somebody that can illustrate like Noel dressed as satin or something. Oh, man, I've so many ideas going through my head now. All right, I just got to remember, we got a lot of stuff to work on.
Rick Ship chimes in with, this shirt tastes like
artificial sweeteners?
Not chicken.
So anyway, Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Check the pinned stories. Get yourself some merch. New stuff coming soon, apparently. You're watching us on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Our next live stream will be, make a note of this, October the 28th. October the 27th is my son's birthday, and I am not going to be doing a live stream to celebrate his 18th birthday. That's no good for anybody. But the next night, Tuesday night, October the 28th, we will be doing just a regular live stream. Although, if we come up with anything, or if the Audible Army has any good suggestions, it could well be spooky themed. It's entirely possible.
It's a good day for spoopy.
That's right. Yeah, oh, don't do that. No, we're a no spoopy zone. I don't know where that came from, but I dislike it as much as you dislike Rick and Morty fans. And I almost equate the two. So Audible Army. I mentioned Audible Army. We have a Facebook group where we do a lot of communicating with the people who listen and take advice and share information, share links, share pre-orders. I just put the link up in the chat. Although, look who beat me to the punch.
Super chat from Thor
Golden Cub. Awesome.
Hi, guys. Made a stream excited for Cobra Law Officer.
Yeah, talking about the Royal Guard later in the stream, but for right now, just a nice yo Joe for Thor Golden Cup. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support, and that is another great way to support us. Jump into that super chat. Anything that we bring in, whether it's revenue from the Needless Things YouTube channel or stuff from the super chat directly, it all goes back into the show. Whether it's production, hosting, whatever the case may be, this is not cheap. It may feel cheap, but it's not cheap. So, Needless Things YouTube channel. Tomorrow, my review of the blood-soaked Art the Clown from Terrifier goes up because it's a Walmart exclusive that I just happened to find in store while the pre-orders were up on the app. And I was like, well, I should get this review up as soon as possible. But after that, my Operation Monster Force reviews start. I've got all 9 of the new figures that just came out and the Black Watch Agent head pack. I have done 3 of the reviews so far. I've got 6 more to go, and they're just phenomenal. So this week you will get the Apophis Counterterrorism Trooper, and no, I'm sorry, the Donner Party and the Black Watch Agent and head pack are this week. The Apophis Counterterrorism Trooper is next week, along with other stuff. And I plan to have them finished up by Halloween. But there's
I want to give another quick plug for the Facebook group from our pal Starfighter. I am finally on the Audible Army. I posted the comparison of the 3 buggies from Hasbro, Fans Hobby, and Gridiron. So
yes, and I love that. Thank you so much for doing that, because I really wanted to see a side-by-side like that. You know, it's so difficult to just look around and find a picture of all 3 items in one shot, because most people aren't buying all 3. And if they do, just that comparison shot is hard to come by. It was really, really nice seeing them side by side in the group. So thank you for that. And anybody who wants to check it out, it's in the Audible Army Facebook group. I should actually pin that one so everybody can take a look at it and chime in with their opinions. My favorite, just as far as looks go, is the Gridiron release, the Hound. But that one, between the fact that it's so expensive and that it's for display only, not interested. So I am not getting any of the 3 of those. Now, you guys, what was your Awe Striker status? I think we might have talked about it already, but I don't remember.
It's in the other room.
Okay.
Oh, so you did get it?
Well, I didn't cancel it in time is what happened.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I thought we talked about it.
I did cancel it. I'm just going to get Crankcase, I think, separately. Because I do want him.
I don't even care about having Crankcase. In most instances, if I don't have the vehicle, I don't need the driver. That's just me.
Well, in most instances, if a Joe character has facial hair, I have to have it. So,
so next week, our Pyramid of Darkness reviews continue. We will be talking about Pyramid of Darkness Part 4, as well as our usual rank and file card and Knowing is Half the Babble. Week after that, as I said, on the 28th, our next live stream. So join us for that. Put it on your calendar. And in the coming weeks, I had wanted to do it last week, and then I wanted to do it this week. But last week we had Cold Slither. This week we've got G.I. Joe number 12. Our review will be going up on Wednesday. So soon, the audio and video from our Special Mission Brazil Redux panel from Joe Lanta will be going up. If you're following us on Instagram, you'll see when it goes up, or if you're in the Audible Army group. It's taken a while because there's a little more production involved than I thought there would be. And also, as I said, there've just been some scheduling things that it just keeps getting pushed back. But it's a lot of fun. We had a blast doing it. So keep an eye out. That should be going up next week on the Needless Things YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. All right. So a little follow-up. We got a couple things we got to talk about. Oh, one more thing to mention. There is an Audible Interlude wiki. Scale Model Joe's has done incredible work. You may have seen Scale Model Joe's on our 200th episode talking about it. Done absolutely amazing work creating a wiki that we can now all contribute to for Audible Interlude. All the episodes are being added and listed as we go. Notes, thoughts from each episode. It is a catalog of the last 5 years of what we've been doing, and anybody that's part of the Audible Army Facebook group can get on that link and go make additions as you see fit. And it's time. I mean, Scale Model Joe's did a lot of work on this, and it's time for everybody else to start pitching in and adding on. And seeing as I'm going to have a lot of free time coming up in the near future, I do expect to add quite a bit to it myself. And also considering I'm really the main source of information for anything that's going to go in there, I do need to get to work on that. So follow up. I was on His Tank the other day, as I am almost every day, and it was interesting. There was a lot of conversation about that Flint variant, the retro card back Flint variant, and it occurred to me, why this and why right now? And I wonder if they're trying to boost sales in order to make up for things in other areas. Let's say, I don't know how many, let's say they made 25,000 of that retro card back Flint, right? Just the regular one. And at the interest level things are at, they sold 10,000. These are just numbers I'm making up just to illustrate my point. Because 10,000 people wanted that retro card back Flint, right? But then they introduced 82 card variants into the mix. Maybe that generates 5,000 more sales. Whatever the case, it is going to compel people who would not otherwise have bought that figure to buy that figure. So I know I'm well aware some people bought multiples, hoping to get one of those Chase Flints. So they generated more revenue by doing this. It's the same production numbers, but they're generating more revenue out of that same stock of product. I'm wondering if they're doing things like this, and I expect to see it again, to try and pad everything else to keep prices at that $27.99 so they don't have to go up again. Like, I wonder if this is an effort just to milk more revenue out of things that already exist rather than having to affect the whole entire line. You know what I mean? Because that Hasbro well knows, as I've talked about in the past, you've got us early adopters, people like me who want the thing as soon as they can possibly get it. So I'm paying up to a point, I'm paying whatever the MSRP is the day it comes out. And if you watch over time, most Hasbro products, Legends, Star Wars Black Series, Classified, drop in price in almost every venue. There's certain exceptions here and there, but for the most part, over a year, 2 years, those prices come down significantly. And I think Hasbro is aware of that, and that's built into the pricing structure of what they sell things to retailers for, right? So right now, that $27.99 is the premium early adopter price, and Hasbro knows only, like, again, I'm making up numbers, only 50% of their collectors of Classified are going to pay that price. And they've built it in that $27.99 is enough of a markup to make up for the people that are going to wait until it gets to $24.99, $22.99, $15. You get what the math I'm laying down here?
I mean, it's a nicer way or a nicer outlook than what I had.
Well, I'm not saying it's nice. It's actually
no.
mercenary.
I'm saying, like, I absolutely see it as them finding a way to bolster the sales for a figure that maybe wasn't having the sales that they wanted, and they were, to me, very smart about how they approach this social media wise, because if you are someone who suffers from FOMO,
sure,
they were hitting it at every point. Now, I also liken it, even though this is like ultra super rare chase. You don't know if you're going to get it or not. I liken it to sort of like what they're doing with Magic. Like they have boosted the sales of Magic by introducing concepts like there's a Spider-Man deck that's coming out. There's a Final Fantasy deck. Like if you're into this, boom, you want to make sure that you buy this set so that you can get those. And there isn't as much of a risk, even though they've said that they've scaled production numbers back. It's not like when Classified first started and it was, oh my gosh, this is selling out, right? So now they've been able to create that buzz and get people talking. And like you said, getting people who might not have never bought multiples to now buy multiples.
But consider this. Look at some major Hasbro releases that have barely gotten any social media attention at all. Major stuff. Like right now, we were just talking about the Tron HasLab and how the launch page is not even fully formed compared to other HasLabs. So look how much difficulty Hasbro has just having a campaign for a major product sometimes. There is no part of me that believes anybody at Hasbro was like, this one Flint figure isn't selling well enough. Let's do a social media blitz. I don't believe that for a second.
I think behind closed doors, whenever, I'm not saying they had this planned out back then. I'm just saying they know what that original Classified Flint sold at, meaning being a peg warmer. Oh, hang on here.
Whoa! Brian Fabian, what is up?
Super chat. Happy to support the show.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yo, Joe to Brian Fabian.
That they didn't already sort of know this Flint might be a struggle bus,
but see,
for getting our vendors to want to carry it.
If they had thought that, they wouldn't have made it, because Hasbro is so risk averse. If anybody had said, I'm not sure this is going to sell, they just wouldn't have made it.
Whoa. Kevin Riddle chiming in. I've seen on his tank where one of the 82 Flints sold on eBay for $1,100. So have they already started shipping?
Yeah, people have been receiving them. They were part of the like they were pre-order, then they came in stock, and they were part of buy it now, we're sending them out.
I saw some people on Reddit who said they actually got them, didn't realize that it was an alternate because they weren't paying attention. They just ordered that figure and they just opened the thing up.
Good.
That's the only reason I would have wanted it, just to do an unboxing video for just for the tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are two different things with Kevin Riddle's comment. There are two different things there. One is that it sold for $1,100. And two is that, that 82 figures, that is a tiny, tiny run. Like that number is so low. And somebody literally just bought it to speculate, because I think the almost unanimous sentiment is that nobody really cares for the card art. It's just the sheer collectability and investment potential of it.
Mm-hmm.
So look, good for anybody that wants it or got it or whatever. But I think Hasbro is trying stuff, and it'll be interesting to see where else we see that. In other news, speaking of rarity, Ghost Viper sold out in both places very quickly. I actually forgot, or no, I didn't forget about it. I thought it was going up on Friday. And then Thursday morning, when I was busy with a bunch of other stuff, apparently they actually did say, oh, by the way, this is going up today. And by the time I went and looked, I mean, obviously Pulse was sold out. Pulse always sells out very quickly. But Walmart was sold out as well, which is a little surprising because stuff has been lingering there lately. Like their WWE Monday Night Wars figures tend to be kind of hot products there. and the last few waves have been available for a day.
Well, and I'm curious as
went up.
how many they put up, because that was a expensive figure, and it wasn't something that I thought was going to have like mass appeal, because
People seemed pretty hyped about it.
Yeah, but I mean,
I
at
thought there would
55
be
on
sticker
Walmart
shock.
and 63 on Pulse.
Yeah.
And I will just take this moment to publicly say, I told you.
I mean, I'm.
Yeah,
but I think overall, compared to previous Walmart collector cons, and honestly, I think we talked about this. The weekend as a whole had so much going on because you had Prime Days, you had the Walmart Collector Con, you had NYCC, then Pulse jumped in with their 24-hour flash sale.
Laughable sale. Hey, here's all the stuff that's like $5 to $10 cheaper on Amazon right now.
Right. But it seemed like there was so much happening that any sort of announcement as far as like, hey, this is going live, was just pushed down, on the toy site so quickly. And I don't know, like I think back to, gosh, just crystal ball. It just seemed like we knew when he was going on sale. Everybody was like excited and waiting, and I didn't see anything in the days leading up to the Walmart Collector Con, nor did I see anything until the after the Ghost Viper sold out. That
the
Walmart
only place it was mentioned prior was in BMAC's Instagram stories, which means if you don't know who BMAC is, then you had no way of seeing it. And if you are following him, but don't look at Instagram stories, which I know a lot of people who don't use stories at all, then you're not going to see it. But I'm not, compared to past things that I have thought I missed or thought I might miss or whatever, I wouldn't mind having one of these, but also I just don't want to pay $55 for it.
Yeah, I also wonder, will it be like Crystal Ball? Where there was this limited stock that went up, and it's going to pop up on his tank in a thread. Somebody saying, hey, it's available again. And then everybody's going to have a chance to get one.
I think there will be more stock available than what was picked up for pre-orders, especially once you consider when Walmart starts canceling all the pre-orders,
Well, it looks like, because looking at the chat here, our good pal Brian Crystal Ball Hoffman was aware a few days ahead of time what the price was.
Yeah, you know why? Because I said it. I know that's not where he got the information. I'm just very
Brian, yeah, you need to start sharing in the Facebook group.
Well, if you're following Audible Interlude podcast on Instagram, or you're in the Audible Army, I did put the Walmart listing up several days before it went live. Because if you find the listing, you can go bookmark it, and it'll
which
just
apparently
be in your
also
shopping
you
list.
have to do, because I know you've saved my butt a couple of times. That even happened with Pythona this weekend.
Yeah.
He went up, but if you just typed in Pythona in the search bar, she did not come up.
It's a good thing too, because boy, she sold out quick. Wait.
Is she still available?
She was as of yesterday when I looked. So
that's wild. Well, it's not wild though, because
hopefully somebody in the chat can also help clarify this, because when I went back and re-listened to the panel, I thought they said something about they were specifically leaving her up, like so that people could get her. It wasn't like
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
There is a finite number. I mean, there was a
Right.
finite number of what we can ship now.
But she's still
but-
only premium right now, I think.
Yeah, she's still only premium, but she's still in
Oh.
stock. So it's not like,
Yeah.
they've switched to pre-order at this point, like they did
Yeah.
with the Cold Slither set.
Well, and we talked about it on the show that I think we all agreed that they're going to be making a lot of her. I mean, she is one of the most requested characters
Mhm.
in G.I. Joe history, really.
Mhm.
So I think they knew. But the price, there was a little sticker shock for her as well, $46.99. That's pretty hefty. I mean, I guess you could squint your eyes and pretend one of those things she comes with is a pet. But it's definitely, as cynical as I am about pricing right now, I was a little surprised it was that expensive.
Yeah.
White Vegeta says she is on premium until November 3rd, I think, which
That's right.
makes Toy Reclaimer's comment make sense because he said, I'll be waiting until the 2nd.
And yes, Toy Reclaimer. I got the Pythona and Big Lob from Super 7. I just haven't had an opportunity to review them yet. There's so much stuff coming right now. I don't throw wreck ships up there.
Yeah.
It's unusual if they don't typically give a price when they first announce something. I'd be very surprised if they did that.
And surprisingly, not Joe related, but so I had pre-ordered the Marvel Legends Strong Guy, and on the Pulse website he was $49.99, and then on other sites, he was 30 something.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever, I've got him pre-ordered. I'm not. I can't do the roulette like you do.
And don't change it.
Well, no. So I got an email right before they shipped him that said, "Hey, you pre-ordered this figure. The correct price is $39.99. When it is ready to ship, your card will be charged, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting that they lowered the price on him to match." Like, either they realized somebody made a mistake, or they realized, wait, there's enough wiggle room there for us to still meet our profit by charging.
Surprising.
Yeah. So when they did charge him, because he came in just a couple of days ago, it was $39.99.
Okay. Yeah, I was torn on that one because there's some things about it that, because I've got the original Build-A-Figure, and he's one of my guys.
Yeah, same here.
So I've got the original figure that's really good. I don't like the white background of the X on the new one, but the new portraits are great, and they're like a couple little details. I can't justify getting another one. I just can't do it.
Wreck Ship jumping back in, that says, yeah, the press junket for her listed her for $39.99. Surveillance Ports post shows this. So I'm just going to add in a little yeah.
I can't imagine having enough free time to need that validated. I'm always impressed by Wreck Ship, whose icon is always online now. Speaking of Wreck Ship,
he has a computer brain, because he knows exactly. It's not like he has to hunt it like we do. He's like, I know I saw this, and then boom.
Well, and also that the press junket was not the first announcement of Pythona. But anyway, speaking of Wreck Ship, he did give me the heads up earlier that Pulse is increasing the prices on everything now, not just new products. They're retroactively going in and jacking like $24.99 items up to $27.99.
I have issues with that.
Oh yeah.
They're even putting up HasLabs like they're worth about $75 for $259 right now.
Yeah,
that took me a second. Yeah, there is no way, because we've done it here on the show tons of times. I can usually make the math work for something that seems overpriced. Like, even if I don't agree with it, I can look at something and be like, okay, look, I see how they got to this. I don't agree, but I see how they got there. This Tron one, I can't make up any math.
No, if I were to see that and knowing the scale and everything, and it's like if this were a retail release, I'd say, yeah, that I wouldn't. I can't imagine anybody's paying more than $100 for it.
I think 100 is a little unfair because we're looking at
5 figures and 2 vehicles.
5 figures that they're just smaller Marvel Legends. You know, they're not O-ring figures. They are fully super articulated. They're like the old Marvel universe, but maybe a little.
They're like G.I. Joe 25th size.
Well, I'm talking about the form factor, not really the size, because there is a difference between G.I. Joe 25th and Marvel Legends. Like the aesthetics are different,
right?
So they look like shrunk down. Now, Tom.
Now, Tom got Henry. No one wants Tron boring.
I agree with
I disagree with that, but give us the last Starfighter. Yes.
Tron boring. It's Krull for computer nerds.
Wow.
Anyway, well, look, they've even got things that they throw. It's literally just the same thing with neon light tubes.
But you know what? They both produced fantastic Atari 2600 games. Krull and Tron.
I can't
justify here. We're comments are coming on in.
Rekship says it's weird they did OG Tron for the HasLab and then did Tron Legacy for the 6-inch line. Because it's people my age that are going to want the OG Tron stuff.
But
like I honestly like the first Tron. I don't like Legacy. I have no interest in seeing the new movie. So
if this HasLab, now price aside, what's more compelling to you if they'd done this HasLab, the figures as they did them, or if they had been O-rings?
I like the figures as they are.
So you're not looking at it for nostalgia. You're just looking at it as, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, slightly nostalgia because Medicom did a 3 3/4 inch Tron figures back in the early 2000s that were as super articulated as their 12-inch figures. They were super hard to find. So even on the import market, it was like Tron, Flint, and Sark, and they each came with a light cycle, and you were paying $75-$100 for them. These look even better than that, but when I try to do the math in my head, it just isn't mathing. Like, I can't justify paying $20 for a Star Wars The Vintage Collection figure when a 6-inch figure is now only $5 to $7 more. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're paying for a display base, and I hope, like, if they realize tying this into G.I. Joe, in order to continue doing HasLabs and keeping them in an affordable price range, let's say the next one, they try to go the O-ring route. I hope they look at what's going on right now with the Tron one and go, we cannot repeat that. We have to put that money in the actual product, meaning, vehicle, figure. Like,
I do think their approach is right, though, because it's been mentioned, this Hasbro 375, which is an interesting little label they've put on there, which we talked about. Oh shoot, what was that phrase Emily used that I latched on? The retroverse.
Oh yes,
that I latched on to so much. This Hasbro 375 seems to be that, but they have focused on the best scale for world building, which I think is smart, because I think they're realizing, like, we have filled people's shelves up with 1/12 scale figures that don't have a lot of vehicles to go with them.
And also something that I was reminded of, it wasn't just because of vehicles that action figures in the 70s and 80s started shrinking.
It
We
was the
had the
oil
oil
crisis.
crisis.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
in
the
order
first thing
to
I
make
thought of.
product, you had to make a little go a long way.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that was,
We
I
haven't-
just thought about as pure economics, is that right now, I mean, if you're having to charge 50% more than what these figures like were originally cost, 5 years ago, just to sell a 6-inch figure, I mean, how many of those are you going to sell right now?
Well, I'll tell you this from a little insider perspective while I still have it. Over the next few years, the price of oil should bottom out, but it probably won't. All right, let's move
real
on. We've spent
quickly-
way too much time talking about
Yep,
Tron. Is this
just-
about Tron? No more Tron. No more Tron.
Well, I just want
I
to
don't, if
compare
it's
it.
Tron, no.
I just want to compare it to the Snowcap for a second.
Is it Tron?
It
Okay.
is 897 backers on that HasLab. Ooh.
I mean, that's not surprising, because that accounts for literally every fan of Tron. All right. We got to move on, because we actually do have a good bit of news to cover this week, thanks to New York Comic-Con, the week prior to New York Comic-Con, and then even some of our pals who are still working hard trying to put out toy lines under their own steam. Which brings us to our first update from Call Sign Longbow. The factory team provided them with a video update on the sculpt revisions they've been working on. They've made the necessary adjustments at the model shop to Lancer and the Krosny Ninja to finally achieve the desired range of motion, and are moving forward in the process. This is a screen capture of the factory articulation test, courtesy of Dave Proctor. Progress on the Volk, Uptown, Großspetsnaz, and Outlaw is ongoing. These figures also required some additional revision at the model shop. Given the rate of progress, they no longer expect these figures to ship before the end of the year, which I think they actually said in the last update. And if they didn't, whatever information they provided was enough to infer that. They're sorry to report they're not further along in the process. Know that they are pushing to complete these figures as soon as possible, and will continue to share all progress as it occurs. And they've been updating, at least every month. So I mean, we've known all along what's been going on. There's been full transparency from the Call Sign Longbow team, which we all, of course, appreciate. They recognize this project is taking significantly longer than originally estimated, and thank you for your continued patience. Once again, the Longbow team will be in attendance at the 14th annual Assembly Required presented by Codename Iowa. Join them on the November 14th and 15th in Des Moines at the Hy-Vee Hall. I have heard nothing but great things about Assembly Required. I would love to be able to get out there. I was hoping maybe this year would happen, but obviously, for several different reasons, I'm not going to be in Iowa in November. But if you are proximal to the Iowa area, then by all means, check out Assembly Required. Some more news, or rather sort of a fleshing out of news. This was pretty exciting to see. Let me open my link up here. All right. So, Kristian, you shared the announcement. We saw two of the vehicles a few weeks ago, and then the Loyal Subjects made a full name announcement a couple of days ago, and now we have images of the second wave of Mask from the Loyal Subjects. The battle's just getting started. This Mask Monday, we are psyched to reveal the additional 2 vehicles planned for Wave 2, which will be available for purchase in early 2026. And I gotta feel like they're because this looks like actual product and not renders to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to think these are a little further along. Like if they're well aware of what happened with Wave 1 and how it got delayed a couple of months, I don't think they would say early 2026 if they weren't relatively confident that this is going to go a little smoother. Although we haven't seen pre-orders or anything yet, I would expect them in the next couple of weeks, would be my guess. But what we're looking at, the Armored Assault Vehicle, formerly known as the Jackhammer, the Stealth Submarine Cycle, or Piranha, and then the Hurricane and the Gator, which they still have the trademarks for, I guess. This is so exciting to me. And what's interesting, though, is so the Hurricane was in the second wave back in the day, and the first wave actually had the Firecracker, which I'll tell you right now, I don't even remember. Like when you think back through the Mask vehicles, the Firecracker's a pickup truck, and it looks awesome, and it's got like a motorcycle that goes in the back, but I don't remember that thing at all. So instead of putting because this completes the first wave, except for that Firecracker, and they've subbed in the Hurricane, which don't get me. I mean, the Hurricane is a
way more iconic,
right, and just looks awesome. But it is interesting that they made that one little swap out, and also how satisfying is it that they are choosing, like, let's get as close as we can to just finishing that first series, because nobody does that. It's always, well, let's pepper in, a couple from the first wave, one from the last wave, one from the wave that nobody cares about or likes at all, except for the one guy who's designing these toys. Like, the fact that they're just forging ahead with basically releasing these in order is really cool. So I know neither one of you guys were quite as captivated by this relaunch as I was, but looking at the first two waves, are there any of them that you're just like, man, I'd really like to have that one?
Well, so I ended up canceling my pre-order for the whole set of Wave 1 because there was something else that was coming out around the same time. And I was like, I am still going to get the releases. I'm just going to get them.
Oh, later. That's right.
One at a time.
This Monster Force and something else at one point were all shipping within a few weeks of each other.
But so when Mask originally came out for Christmas, I got the Gator and the Piranha, and while my Gator sadly no longer exists, it broke very early on into play because of that spring mechanism.
Yeah.
But I have held on to Dusty all these years, and I'm excited to now have Dusty squared and have the new one and the my original driving the Gator. But yeah,
I've told the story about my buddy that gave me all of his Mask stuff when he stopped caring about toys. But one of the things I had was the Piranha. I loved that thing, and I had the Condor. That might have been it, like just on my own before.
Condor is the one that I am the most excited about. It is the vehicle that I wanted as a kid that I never got. All my friends had it, but for whatever reason, that one my parents never got me. And Brad Turner was my favorite character on the show. Motorcycles are just cool. I think that's also probably why I loved the Piranha so much. And as a kid, I didn't understand what a depth charger was. So even with the whale, like his bomb thing on the back, I loved catapulting it. But what does it do? It's a beer keg.
I like that as a kid you didn't know what a depth charge was, but you did know what a beer keg was.
I grew
What's
up
up,
in Kentucky,
what's
my
up, Kentucky? Yeah, that's motorcycles are awesome, helicopters are awesome, submarines are awesome. So like between those two vehicles to have those combinations, it's great. So anyway, Wave 2 completely announced and probably going up for pre-order pretty soon, I would guess. Now, this didn't mention anything about them being Big Bad first, which has not really ended up being the case with Wave 1 either, because Big Bad is not getting the full wave until December. And if you pre-ordered the full wave, you're not getting any of it until that is in. Whereas other retailers that pieced it out, like so any day now, is the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered the Thunderhawk out of this one. I thought about doing the Rhino, but of course it went up a little bit higher in price than I expected it to be. But I'm looking at this second wave and I'm thinking, because I never owned masks as a kid. Always kind of coveted it, but I always wanted to keep my collection down to my Joes and Transformers just so that I could stay focused on those lines. But I always wanted just the ones that are like cars because I like to have a bunch of cars that are in scale with each other. So I may wind up ordering Dave. I don't care about motorcycles. Never did.
Throw toy reclaimers.
Head explode real quick. So when I played with my mask figures, because they did not scale with anything else, absolutely. Me and my friends, like they were their own thing.
I don't even want to hear this.
But when I was home alone, the mask figures were an alien race of micro-sized people in the Star Wars universe.
So when Transformers did their alternators line, 20 years ago, when those things came out, more than 20 years ago at this point, they were 1/24th scale, which the figures for this worked out perfectly. So I had a few mask figures that I'd like found at yard sales and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Or like they'd come like mixed in with Lego bins. So I'd have them like set up with my Transformers alternators because they were the perfect scale for that.
Nice. Okay.
So Toy Reclaimer says, I thought it said the pre-order was 2026.
So the actual text from the post says, which will be available for purchase in early 2026. That is what the text says. Now, and that's the text from the loyal subjects. And, I don't know what to tell you because unfortunately, these companies will interchange pre-order and purchase very freely. They'll say for sale now, and it's a pre-order. Like they don't understand, or no, I think they do understand. I think they know exactly what they're doing when they misuse on sale now or available now or whatever, and then you go and it's actually a pre-order. I think they know what they're doing, but the text I'm reading from the Loyal Subjects release is available for purchase in early 2026. And if Preternia has information that I don't have, well, that doesn't surprise me a bit. But this came directly from Loyal Subjects. You guys fact-checking is really chapping my ass tonight. All right. New York Comic-Con news. Let's see what we got. I think did we just talk about him amongst ourselves?
Yeah.
Yo, put Toy Reclaimer's comment up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Real nice, buddy.
You know what? I think we did talk about this when they first unveiled it because fact check, I remember Rexship's comment about liking the new Inner John head.
Yeah, I think we already talked about this guy, but I dig it. However, I dig it at old prices. I don't dig it at $27.99. And that's going to be a factor going forward. as much as I hate to say it, I told the guys in the chat, I don't want to be this, but I'm turning into a we'll get it on clearance guy. All right, so I'm going to bring up the loyal subjects just so we can put a pin in this. Let's see here. Because quite frankly, I did take a little offense to they know what they're doing. Oh, the companies. I thought you were talking. Okay, wait. So
he said referring to the companies using for purchase / pre-order interchangeably. Well, that definitely makes sense.
I thought you were talking about Preternia versus us. Which
I still thought it was funny, Toy Reclaimer. I in my head, that's still canon.
Not that anybody can read this, but this is the Facebook post where it says for purchase in early 2026. And yes, they absolutely, I think, know what they're doing. All right, let's get back to this fellow. So I can't imagine either of you. Kristian, your immediate negative head shake.
I mean, I bought 2 of the original ones because I did think it was a neat concept. But like I said before, I mean, how many years ago did he come out? I thought the whole Dark Energon thing was a forgotten story point that they just moved on from because of Skybound. And to me, yes, that head looks cool, but this is that episode of The Simpsons where they go, look, it's Malibu Stacy and she has a new hat. And everybody leaves Lisa the Lionheart.
It really is. However, I like this color scheme so much more than the old blue and orange.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually looking right now.
Rekship, I'm not going to read the whole comment, but he does point out it's the bug colors.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mole rats aren't really selling for anything on eBay too, so it's not like you could move your old ones and afford this one. Well, I don't know, 45. Those are probably all mint in box prices. But anyway,
Carlos Selena says, "How rude! Breaker popped his bubblegum in Mole Rat's face." That's funny.
Oh, actually, he looks like the inside of a. Do you remember? Okay, I think they were called Zappers back when weird novelty candy was a huge thing. I think it was probably middle school for me, and there were Zots, which were sour fizzing like gumball, not gumballs, hard candy, and then there were Zappers that were gum. They were bumpy on the outside and they had crystals that fizzed on the inside. He looks like he ate like 12 Zappers at the same time and they blew up his head. Anyway, I dig this and I'm just going to get it out of the way now. I'm going to go ahead and break this seal because I'm going to be saying a lot in the coming months and potentially years. I'll wait for it to go on clearance. I hate it, but that's where we're at. And it's not Hasbro's fault.
I have a feeling this one will go on clearance.
Well, it's this one. It's interesting, though, that this is not a Walmart exclusive. But I think you're right. As part of a regular 5-figure wave, which, by the way, waves are going back up to 5 figures again. Weird. But I don't know. We'll see. We don't know what the production numbers will be going forward. I'm sure Hasbro is aware of the I'm going to wait for clearance becoming even more of a factor now. Lifeline. Now this one, I don't want to pay $27.99 for any Joe action figure, any mass market action figures. However,
you got to have Lifeline.
And he looks great.
Yeah, he's a must-have.
Yeah. The only must-have for me in this wave.
I love the way they've handled the accessories. The fact that he's got the glasses and the goggles. I love that they're doing these alternate face looks, like Sci-Fi having the 2 different face plates. Lifeline's got the goggles and the glasses, which, I mean, you kind of have to have, but they could have just stuck him on his helmet, like the original figure. What do you guys think of the gray boots?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it until you just said it. So
yeah.
I get it, and I'm fine with it, especially since they've brought that gray onto some of the other area, like the accessories, the piece on his belt. Like, it's not like it's just gray out of nowhere, and I'm fine with it. But I did notice, they're not the original white boots. It's noticeable, but makes sense. Who's wearing white boots into combat?
right, because that means he can only work pre-Labor Day.
That's right.
Otherwise, Kathleen Turner's gonna hunt him down.
Well, now I need Noel to make a Lifeline. Well, actually, doesn't your lady have a Lifeline costume?
She does have a Lifeline.
So she has to get it in early at Dragon Con. But yeah, this is exactly what a classified Lifeline should look like, I think. Although it is kind of funny, he's got, I believe that's a flashlight off to his left right there, but also it kind of looks like an asthma inhaler. But very happy.
I legit thought that's what it. Well, I didn't think it was an asthma inhaler, but I did think that it was an inhaler of some sort as part of the medical.
I still saw some people that were sore because he comes with a weapon. Because the original figure had not 1 but 2 pistols, right. 1 molded on and 1 that he carried. So why would he not have it? Yes, I know he's a pacifist. So was Doc, but nobody ever talks about that.
So Lifeline was a pacifist on the show,
in fiction, right? In the show and in comics, but like Doc was explicitly in his file card,
right? So I mean, it's all whatever.
Yeah. But you know what? Just pretend it's a flare gun. Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, Lifeline is great. Lifeline is, as much as it pains me to say, I will be pre-ordering him on day 1. Which, by the way, day 1 is tomorrow.
Which would they go up at what time?
1 p.m., right?
1 p.m.
Well, it won't matter. I mean, this is a regular wave. They're not going to sell out anywhere. It's just a mass market wave.
I have meetings all day.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Night Viper, a character that I have no attachment to. I don't yet have a vintage Night Viper. And a lot of people mistakenly thought that those are the Hiss Driver legs, and they are not. Those are new legs. Yeah, those are new legs. Look at your Hiss Drivers. I think it looks really cool. I love the colors, and it does have the removable scope like the vintage figure had. You just can't tell in this image. But if you go to Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram or any of 50 other places online, you can see all the diorama pictures that they put up. I think the backpack is very cool. Looks like the original. The rifle. So I think this rifle looks really cool, but apparently is a bit different from the vintage. But it looks to me that here's the thing that I noticed. I believe that strap is a separately tooled piece. I don't think that's all one piece like it looks like it is, because if you look, they're little sort of knobs, and it looks like the strap is plugged onto those little pegs in this image. I bet that strap is a separate piece, which will work much better and not feel, because at this scale, if you do a weapon like this and the strap is just molded as part of it, it doesn't look good. It doesn't work well. So I'll be interested to see if I'm right about that. But just the way that it's constructed, that appears to be the case. Well, and there's a lot more than just the break in the knee. Once you see the diorama pictures, you can really tell that these legs are completely different.
Yeah, the diorama pictures made a huge difference for how I felt about the figure. because I never had a vintage one either. So I'm like, no emotional attachment. He looks kind of cool, but also kind of meh.
Yeah,
But then
it's
the
not
diorama photos had me going, okay, he's another specialist in my
right.
Cobra army.
Yeah, I'll have one.
Yeah.
It's not the most exciting render, but I like it. Yeah, like I was kind of, I'm not gonna say I was ambivalent, but it wasn't like, oh, I gotta have this immediately, but it was cool. Big Lob. Now we just got our Super 7 Big Lob, which is the Big Lob that I'm not gonna say most people, I'm gonna say a lot of people really wanted. The O-ring
Yes.
style Big Lob. But this one, I just think he looks great. And he's 7 inches tall. He is going to be taller than your average classified figures. I just think they executed him really, really well. I'm excited. And he's one that, you know, there's a lot of Sunbow. I've said many, many times on the show, I don't need Sunbow in my classified, but he's one that should have had a figure in the original line and had such a significant role in the movie that, to me, it seems I want him in my classified. Like he fits in. He's not like a Honolulu West or even like a Professor Apple, where it's so specific to the comics or the movies or whatever. Like he just feels like somebody that should have had a figure in 1987. So in my head, he fits in classified.
Well, when we got the Pythona and the Big Lob in this last wave from Super 7, and I said those are the two. Like that's the form factor I want those figures in. I did pre-order Pythona, ordered Pythona because she's already been shipped.
Yes.
But like when I'm looking at Big Lob and I'm comparing like the Super 7 Pythona and the Super 7 Big Lob versus the classified versions, there's a world of difference in the Pythonas. And there's really not that much of a world of difference between the Big Lobs to me.
Oh, that's funny. I don't agree with
to
that.
justify. Really. But I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of extra accessories, but I don't want the extra accessories, except for maybe the basketball. But I'll tell you later about why that doesn't bother me so much.
Well, I can imagine. I like the fact that the classified version is classified up. If it were just, as people like to say, a one-up of what the O-ring might have been, I wouldn't be as interested. But he's got a modern haircut. He's got sneakers. He is, to me, a classified up version that's significantly different from the Super 7 one. But if I had to choose, I would only need the Super 7 one. But I do want this one as well. Where are you on this guy, Kristian?
So he was one that when I saw him, I said, oh, cool. His announcement coming right after I just got my Super 7 shipment, I didn't have the same level of, oh my gosh, I need him. Like, I think I told you guys, I wish that Super 7 and Hasbro would space these things out. Because I think if it were a few months down the road, or if we were fully in 2026 and they announced him, I've had that O-ring Big Lob for a while. I'm going to get so excited because look at this updated version. Whereas I saw the render and I was like, he looks good. Then the diorama photos sold me on him. I don't know.
Especially the one of him dunking the mole rat head.
Yeah, but I agree also with Rekship's comment that I kind of wish that they had given him some more sports accessories or sports theme. Like, think of Captain Gridiron with his football shaped grenades.
What do you want him to have, a basketball helmet?
No, I'm just thinking like of the, like we
A
got three guns.
goalpost shield
There you go.
or backboard. Sorry, backboard shield.
A backboard shield. Like he doesn't say that he's just basketball. He's sports. Like I don't know.
I agree with that. He's basketball. Captain Gridiron is football.
Okay.
Right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Hardball is baseball. They don't have a hockey guy, which as much as I don't care about sports, I do feel like they need a hockey guy. And also, are there Canadian Joes? There's got to be at least one, right?
Yeah.
We need more Canadian Joes.
But
and then we need the Rap Viper to square off against him.
I'll get him, but it's gonna be later on.
You know what I really think the mistake was? I think if they had made if this Big Lob and the Super 7 Big Lob had made it to market at the same time, I think that would have been better. But the fact that we have a real actual Big Lob figure in hand, and then we get a render reveal of a Big Lob makes this one inherently less exciting. Regardless of how good it is or isn't, it's just the fact that, I've got a Big Lob in my hand, and then, it's a render. Like, I think that was actually the mistake, is doing those two things at the same time.
Two Ray says,
that's
backstop. But I'm with, oh, geez.
Not Slapshot?
I was like, that name looks familiar, but I was also on the inside laughing hysterically because I am with our good pal Reverend Scott Stripling with Captain Poutine.
We can't. Yeah, we can't. You can't forget Captain Poutine. Throw Carlos up there too.
And the Dreadnought's got a lacrosse player.
It's true.
Flasher.
So anyway, Big Lob. I think a welcome addition to the classified series, and they did a good job updating him.
How about a golfer? And he could be part of Tiger Force.
I think we bring Happy Gilmore into G.I. Joe. He's recruited for his just sheer fury. Also, got to look at the deluxe Cobra La Royal Guard. I could not possibly be more hyped for this. Oh, wait, yes, I could, because I'm sure it's going to be like $50.
Yeah.
If it does not go over 50, I will buy 4 of these. I love this design. I love what they've done with this design. I mean, this is incredible. This to me is like a centerpiece type figure. The 4 different portraits.
If this had been 2 price hikes ago,
right?
Like when I saw it, I was excited, and then when they showed the slide with all of this, my excitement sank.
If he was 30, if he was 35,
is what I want.
Which he won't be 35. He will be more than 35
Absolutely.
for sure. But if he was 35, no brainer, like. Must have.
Now,
well, I was saying, like, with this, between this and the Ghost Viper, doing like deluxe / pet figures for troop builders is a very bold move in this economy right now.
Well, this one, the as much as I love the Ghost Viper figure, the concept, it is just a made up thing that makes it far less necessary to any collection. This at least has some legacy to it.
Oh yeah.
And I feel deserves the deluxe treatment as much as anything that they've done.
Like, this is a very appealing figure to me. I would love to see them do this run, and maybe like I might pick up one, and then them later do like a retro carded version later on that's just stripped down at normal retail figure price, and then I could flesh out my troop builders that way. But
yeah, that's we say that all the time. Like, what could or should the retro card back version be? And this one, there's a clear path to what that would look like. The only thing that would concern me is you get this one, but then they do the retro card back and like brighten up the paint scheme or something, so it doesn't match this one.
Yeah.
Well, but so my other thought with this, and for any of our listeners that have been keeping up with Void Rivals, this is a Skybound Royal Guard.
Right.
The
Those portraits.
Those portraits,
Totally. Yeah.
the boosted armor pieces, they absolutely play up the fact that that is living organic armor.
Except he comes with a pistol,
Which
the
they would.
original did, but
Yeah, but Skybound, no way would they be touching something mechanical.
although I will be interested though to get a closer look at that pistol. It is possible it could be more organic looking than it appears to be in this shot. I'm trying to think of, there's a movie. Is it that movie with Jude Law, the Cronenberg movie, where there's a pistol that shoots teeth?
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
I cannot remember what it's called. It's a messed up movie.
That sounds terrifying because I don't want anything shooting teeth.
Well, he did say Cronenberg.
Yeah. No, there's a scene in the movie where he's got the magazine pulled out and it is loaded with teeth, and I think at one point he even has to pull one of his own teeth out to get one last projectile. Oh, what is that movie called? I can't remember what it's called right now.
But
anyway,
I think if they did retro carded, and the colors were brighter or slightly different, at least for me personally, it wouldn't bother me, because you throw those armor pieces on, you can make this look like a Royal Guard captain. There is a specific reason why it is different than the plain looking one.
But if the colors are different, that just kills it for me. Oh.
And apparently kills it for Noel. He is over this conversation.
Yeah, he's had enough of this one. So let's move on. What have we got? Oh yeah, we've got a couple other things to talk about here. First, I want to mention the Hasbro 375. We kind of already talked about it. I've got it in the notes to talk about right here, but it'll be interesting to see going forward what this is, what they expand to, because they have it sounds to me like if you follow Mr. Stevie on Instagram, he works in some capacity with Hasbro, but always has interesting information about their brands, mostly Star Wars, but other things as well. And it really does sound like Hasbro is putting a lot of eggs in the Hasbro 375 basket. So I hope Tron is not the litmus test for that, because I would like to see, well, you know what, to be honest, I'd rather have O-Ring, but it looks like they're not very interested in that outside of Ghostbusters for some reason. Well, not that that's continuing, but boy, I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. We'll be following Hasbro 375 news.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but based off of what they've done, I still don't want Hasbro touching O-Ring. I feel like we've got plenty of other independent companies that are doing it and doing it right. Whereas that last time that Hasbro did it, I just feel like they were charging for they were charging boutique O-Ring prices for Big Lots level of effort. And I do like they did with the Stinger. Absolutely, you want to put out some O-Ring size vehicles, or I guess still 3.75, but if you want to do a hyper articulate, higher versions of the characters, okay, but you've given Super 7 the chance to do O-Ring.
Leave the Joe rings to Super 7. But let me throw this out there. Is there a license that you would be excited to see in that shrunk down Marvel Legends format? Like, is there something specific that you feel like wouldn't be right for O-ring?
I mean, there are so many Hasbro properties. I still think, and I know friend of the pod Brian Flynn has told us, like, the rights are all tied up in weirdness, but you want to do 375 in humanoids so that the humans are your 3.75
I want
and
those
the
O-ring
monsters
now.
are bigger.
I want those O-ring.
I want O-rings of all the human characters from the Transformers.
Yeah, see, that'd be cool.
Including like the only human figures that they did as a club exclusive that one time. But
sorry, the chat is chiming in. Reverend Scott Stripling would like to see Tron.
Well, I've got good news. I've got good news for you, Scott. There's a HasLab right now.
The low price.
But
I'm just not really interested in that form factor unless it's something really spectacular and interesting, like what Grindhouse did.
It doesn't bother me. Like my aesthetic changing from really loving the 25th anniversary stuff to now going back and getting the O-rings stems from how much we have talked about what was the modern era Joes, and now seeing all the flaws in those figures that I can't justify. Whereas there were limitations with O-rings back in the day, right? So I can look at some of those figures and go, well, that is the only way they had to do it.
Well, and that's inherent.
Technology has come far enough that you want to do a modern version of the 25th anniversary figures with all that articulation, but they look like little mini, Marvel Legends. I'm right there.
And I wonder, well, I don't want to spend too much more time on it because we've got other stuff to talk about. We'll be following this Hasbro 375 thing as we go because it's certainly G.I. Joe adjacent. Oh, real quick, here's a shot of the Royal Guard with the wings on, which is very cool. Moving on. Arctic Hiss, so Kristian, you watched the actual panel that somebody streamed on their potato phone.
Mm-hmm.
And just from what you were telling me and Noel in the chat.
I was watching it too.
You were watching it as well. Okay, I never did. I just can't get behind the blurry this. It sounded like the actual panel had a little more information than the follow-up pre-recorded panel did. So what we do know about the Arctic Hiss from the pre-recorded thing that I watched that had BMAC and Lenny, the half a session that they were given. There's going to be polarized lensing on the canopy, so that red is going to be similar to Snowjob's goggles, which is great. That is a plastic tarp. It's not soft goods rolled up. And it's funny, at the beginning of the Arctic Hiss segment, they said they were going to talk about what it would and would not have, and then they really didn't talk about what it would and would not have because, of course, we're expecting the announcement that it's not going to have any of the electronics.
They said in the panel that there would be more details to come, right? But Emily specifically said the number one thing is it has to be cheaper than the HasLab.
Right.
So I feel like it's an automatic given. It ties a little bit into my Joe and Tell if we have it tonight, but I have yet to ever turn on the electronics on my Hiss thing. Not even once. I don't need them. No, so if that is a shell of a vehicle that can hold one figure and a figure with the missiles to get their head blown off by all the backblast.
Well, no, they did specify that it's still got the troop carrier storage space in the back. it looks like
that's surprising to me because I thought that would be where they would cut the corners. That way, they don't have to mold the interior, or at least,
but
use
that's
that,
already done. That's not a cost saver. They've already got the tooling.
Yeah. If you're
anything
not
that's
putting
already
that piece in there, though.
Now the console, because if you look in the back of your HISS tank, there are some pieces that are not built into the interior. Now that stuff may not be in there, but the detail of the interior on the sides and everything, like that's already tooled up. That's done. The hatch is already tooled up and done. It would actually cost more if that were not a functional hatch because they'd have to tool a new back for it. I think the big difference is going to be that it does not have the electronics. Everything else I expect, I mean, what we're looking at, I think, is what we're going to get. Very interested to see what the price is going to be. First of all, I want this. I dig it. The only thing I don't like, I wish it didn't say Arctic Assault on the side. I think that's kind of corny. And I do wish that was a soft goods tarp, but I understand that would just be another expense and it's not worth it. But I'm betting 175.
I like the concept of what they've done with the extra pieces, like the tarp and whatever the cage is, because when I was thinking Arctic Hiss, when it was hinted at,
well, let me help you.
But that's what I was thinking. Is when they talk about recolors of the HISS tank, and we've had this discussion plenty of times before of it can't be the same as the HasLab. I thought it would just straight up be the HISS tank painted white. That's it.
I never expected that because, again, and what we're looking at right now for anybody who's just listening to the audio version is the 25th anniversary Arctic Hiss. I mean, this is just the Stinger missile rack. So that's not more money. That tooling already exists. And then this tarp and this cage thing, that's pretty minimal basic tooling there. So I am shocked that they added anything to it. But I think it's really cool. Depending on the price, I would love to have one.
Yeah, even the missile rack, because they have to tool the connection points. So there's going to be some modifications there.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wonder because the way that the turret sits, I wonder if this just had a deeper I'd have to take a look at mine. It's across the room. I think this connection point is probably pre-existing because if you remember, even before the HISS shipped, they were talking about variants of the HISS.
Yep.
They planned ahead for this.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll more news to come. We do have to talk about the driver who was revealed later in the day. They stuck him in the shelf there. And personally, I don't care for it. I'd rather just have a white HISS driver than the HISS driver helmet on the Snow Serpent body. But as we just saw, that is exactly what the 25th anniversary driver was. So they clearly just looked at that and were like, okay, we'll do that. How do you guys feel about the driver?
I actually like it.
Yeah, I think he looks good.
He's got to stay warm.
It's not bad. I just would rather have just a white.
I think the only thing I would have changed would be to do different web gear or get rid of the web gear altogether. Because that aspect of it to me as a driver doesn't make a lot of sense, but I love a good fur collar, and
I would have liked if they could have just used the HISS driver body, and this may not be possible. Put the fur collar on it and maybe the fur gauntlets on it, and then that's it.
Blitz 0065. I don't like the HISS crew helmets. Therefore, I'm not the biggest fan of this driver. So you actually don't like even the regular Hiss tank driver. Like that whole design is just meh
Well,
to
the helmet
you. That's
sounds like.
that's interesting. You were the first. I'm not. It's not a bad thing. You were just the first person I've heard actually comment about that. So
So we've also got some name reveals. The female Crimson Guard, which you've got to think is going to be based around a certain character. What Cadet? Is it Cadet Dimming? Yeah.
Well, that's why when they announced it, I said I wonder if they're going to do a recolor in blue with the red to do a Cadet Dimming at some point. That's something that you would think that would be Super 7 before Hasbro touching it, but
would that mean Super 7 probably did
Yeah,
have
right.
it in the pipeline? Because as we've discovered, everything they've asked permission for, it's a yes, and
So
we're
what-
gonna do it too.
What's interesting to me is, what is this art? This is like some John Kricfalusi looking artwork.
Well, maybe they had plans to release her back when the window boxes were gone, because that very much is fitting in the theme with quite a bit of the artwork we got.
Yeah, especially with the female characters, which were always a little bit more. They tended to be a little bit more cartoony than the male characters.
We also got a review. Finally, Crazy Legs is confirmed.
Which, as I mentioned before, you already have this figure out. You already have a render. Why didn't you just color swap the render and put that up and just do it instead of just doing a name only?
Right. And Zap. Lots of Zap talk lately on the show. But we are that much closer to the OG-13. I think the only ones remaining are Flash and Grand Slam.
Yep. Which, I mean, that's the same body right there. So,
yeah.
It's just going to need a different head sculpt.
So that is. Oh no! Wait, we have one.
And I think,
more
but
thing.
I also think that, and hopefully, chat, if any of you all heard a better version of the panel, I think Emily made mention that Zap is part of a 2-pack with an as yet unannounced character, which I am assuming is going to be Flash.
Poor Grand Slam. First guy to get a proper version 2, and nobody remembers that character.
But he may get like a jump release.
Right. That's what I'm hoping for, I will say.
But then that raises the question, will they do the other version of Grand Slam that came with the Hal, and maybe they'll do a Hal. Who knows?
Oh. And then
they
already have the back over my hammy.
You already have the jetpack tooled, and it's been used in a dozen now sets. So
they may as well
make that little base. That's a super. I mean, they could sell that honestly for $50.
Well, they won't.
Oh, I know they won't, but they could, because that's not a lot of. I mean, that's barely any new tooling.
For
but also, the other thing you've got to consider when we're talking about this stuff, it's not going to just be a larger version of that platform. It's going to be classified up. They'll make the console like bigger, and like whatever they feel they need to charge for it, they're going to make it that much a bigger and more detailed item.
And we have quite a few people in the chat. So shout out to Carlos and Rekship and White Vegeta that the female Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs, and Zap are all retro carded. So maybe I misunderstood. Because Emily, like I said, the version that I was listening to, the audio was so hard to make out. But yeah, they're saying that it was said that those characters would all be retro carded.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I can see Crazy Legs because we've already got. Well, we don't have a mainline figure for them, but they did release the alternate version.
We got one more item to talk about, and that is this, which Lenny and BMAC both made a big deal about. People are going to lose their minds when they see what this is. I mean, it's clearly some kind of pet restraint.
That's what I thought. And there are so many people that I saw say that this is a globulus reveal. And
Huh?
I'm hoping that that's just bad trolling, because I don't get it. For our folks that are listening, I mean, it looks like another dog collar harness.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, Rexship says, I think that's a dolphin harness, maybe.
Getting our
Dolphin
deep
harness.
6.
If we're getting the Eco Warriors Deep 6, then
Let's go. All right. Moving on. What else have we got? Oh my goodness. It's already time. You guys, I can't believe it. I can believe it because it's 9:30 and this is usually where we are. It is time for Sound Off, where we go to the Audible Army on Instagram. If you're following Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, we ask you for input about what to talk about on these shows. And of course, we always kick it off with Destro's contemplation of a banana. I need to send this to our pal Keith from Clown is Down so he can incorporate this into his banana-themed Instagram. But we've got stuff from the Audible Army to talk about, and we're going to kick it off with Tom.Henry. Tom.Henry from Instagram says, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm still baffled by Night Viper's description of being able to see a squirrel from 100 yards. Is this some reference I didn't pick up on? Is there some pop culture thing I'm missing? Did they leave out a descriptor of at night? I'm not a sports ball guy, but even I know that a football field is 100 yards. Thanks, marching band. Maybe Night Vipers are all just very sensitive, failed pilots with very fragile egos. Hashtag okay, last time I'll bring it up. Hashtag Cobra is having recruitment issues. Hashtag Fang 2025. Hashtag what's the 201st best ARAH figure? So do you guys have any input on this one?
I just figured it was something small that, that is a long way away. I didn't think there was any specific reference to anything. I did, however, think of Wonder Boy and the power to kill a yak from 200 yards away.
With mind bullets. I just don't care. Sometimes say to yourself, I should really just relax. Sorry, the lyrics totally dropped out of my head as soon as I started thinking about it. No, I don't care. I'm sorry this is causing you so much consternation, Tom.Henry. Maybe have yourself a nice cup of warm chamomile tea and wrap up some blankets and watch an episode of Golden Girls. Silent Interlude. What will the next announcements reveals be for G.I. Joe now that the Arctic Hiss has been announced? Will we see a Fang, Armadillo? I would like to say, pump the frickin' brakes, Silent Interlude. We just got reveals 2 days ago. Let's calm down. I don't know what your financial situation is, but I don't need any more reveals anytime soon.
I think it will be Armadillo, but not the vehicle. The worst G.I. Joe figure in the line, Armadillo. With those bright red pants.
No, I don't. I mean, we'll probably get, they've already said that they had to hold some. Well, it was kind of funny because the thing that I watched, BMAC and Lenny said they weren't going to show the Arctic Hiss pilot because they had other conventions in the fall. But then the next, 2 hours later, they have the pilot in the case. So I don't know. But they do have other conventions like over the fall and the winter. So I guess we'll see more stuff then kind of, slowly dripped out a little bit. And I think typically in February, didn't they make up some February day as G.I. Joe Day or something?
Was it? I forget what day it is.
Okay, so I think the last 2 years they've scheduled a live stream in February and then they push it back to March, right? Hasn't that happened twice now? Anyway, so I'm just going to say we'll see a couple of things between now and February, and then we'll get sort of a full slate of reveals in February.
Carlos Salinas says Lenny mentioned the Skyhawk in his Baldy Locks interview. I haven't seen that, so I'm gonna have to look this Baldy Locks up.
I'm gonna leave that to you. Scale Model Joe's author, creator of the Audible Interlude Wiki. Crystal Ball has gone from laughing stock and epic peg warmer. I remember seeing him plentifully in stores for 3 or 4 years after his release, to Hall of Fame Best Classified Figure of the Year. What's behind this amazing redemption? We didn't talk about the Hall of Fame. They did the Hall of Fame. Whatever.
Go Destro, go Destro, go.
So, to me, it seems like a bunch of fun-hating tightwads lightened up, right?
Well, I think I remember when we first started the podcast, I made a comment about, I don't hate Cobra Law. I think that there's a good sci-fi story in there that people just aren't willing to look at yet. And I think that when you have creators that actually like some of these more oddball stuff, because look at Raptor, same thing. Even the wackiest, most neon-y thing from G.I. Joe, you put it in the right hands, they can make a cool product out of it.
But I think what's interesting about Crystal Ball is that the classified Crystal Ball, now granted it comes with some really great accessories, but it's not that different from the original design.
True.
So
that face sculpt, though, that head, the portrait's
incredible.
is killer. I feel like
the sculpting on him is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's not that different. Yes, it's classified up. Obviously, it's more detailed. It's a larger scale. But squint test wise, it's not that different.
Yeah. But if you put that portrait on like a Star Wars black figure, I would still want it. You would put that on a wrestling figure, I'd have to convince myself to buy it, but I'd still want it. Like,
it still looks like this is the logical progression of that original portrait.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, think about how much people love Crocmaster when he came out. Granted, he warmed Ross shelves for 2 years later.
Third wave sabotage. We got to move on. Have you all seen scalping decreasing? It seems like the groups on social media are not looking favorably on people who are doing that. Maybe just the groups I'm in. Are you guys in a lot of toy groups?
I have them all hidden. I don't ever look into them.
Aside from Audible Army, and we don't really do any buying and selling in there. It's really more informational. I am only in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast group. And I will say they're really strict about that. They have rules about how you can price things if you're selling. And outside of that, I mean, I'd rather pull my own toenails out with pliers than be in a toy group on Facebook. So I haven't noticed because I'm not there.
Yeah, I don't belong to any toy groups really anymore, except for ours. Now, instead of doom scrolling, I like to eBay scroll. So I don't know that I've noticed a huge change there. I think where I really tend to notice it is once we have conventions. Mm-hmm. And I noticed what something was going for last year, or what I was seeing something go for on eBay, and now how many people, how many dealers have it.
Well, and I'll say this too, is anytime I am looking at toys online, it's not current stuff. So I don't really know, because if I'm getting current stuff, I'm buying it online, or I'm not trying to buy a $25 figure from Gomer in Tennessee who wants $37 plus $15 shipping. Like, I just don't want the figure like that. So
right.
I don't really dip into that world anyway.
And I also, with how easy online shopping kind of is, I just don't know that there's the scarcity for certain lines for
Yeah.
scalpers to really, this flint, absolutely. But you could be a scalper that's going to buy 100 retro carded flints and maybe not even get one.
Right.
So,
well, just in general, I think that there's fewer items that are in that level of rarity and scarcity, and it's gonna. I think people know if I hold on, I'll probably be able to find this eventually. So I don't think that it's as lucrative as it used to be. And also, like, what is your definition of scalping? Like, I bought the Comic-Con Super 7 Zartan. Got it home, decided I don't really need this in my collection. Noticed they were selling for almost twice what I paid for it, and I put it up and I sold it. Just because.
What did you put it up for?
Like, it was around $100. I think it was like 120.
So that's scalping.
Well, I mean, I put it. No, I put it up.
If you had put it up at what you paid for it and then let it naturally escalate, that's just listing an item.
I put it up for what it was for, around what it was going for, and just put it up as a buy it now. And if I didn't sell it, didn't sell it.
That's
to me, there is also a difference between I bought this because I wanted it, and now I don't want it. And it's selling
intent
for a
matters
price.
too. You're right.
So, I can remember when scalping was way worse, and you go to Walmart or Target, and you see the same people. They know when the shipments come in. They're pulling everything off the shelves. They're preventing people from having a chance to get something. That's scalping.
I think as soon as your intent is to make a profit off of a collectible item, you're a scalper. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's the definition to me. And I've done it. All right. Road Pig John got 2 in this week because they were both interesting. Now that we know that Globulus will be next in classified, do we know that?
No, I don't think we know that at all. Or even if it will be in classified, we presume it will.
Yeah,
he's
somebody
the
in the
last
chat
one left, kind of.
Somebody in the chat who keeps up with Baldylocks or whoever, has that information been confirmed? I think we can reasonably suspect that Globulus will be next. When do you guys expect to see his reveal? Next year, San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, etc. I mean, I guess at the pace we're going, we got Nemesis Immortal was revealed. Was it last year's New York Comic-Con? Or is that when he went up for sale?
Oh. See, I was thinking at the pace that we're going, but I guess maybe there was a longer bit of time between him and Pythona than I'm thinking.
Stardust
I was
and
thinking
Nemesis Immortal were both at the end of the year last year, like fall last year. And then Pythona, we got now. We just got the reveal of the Royal Guard, who interestingly doesn't seem like will be a convention exclusive. So I don't know. Globulus, I mean, may not be until New York Comic-Con next year. I don't know.
I mean, they're going to want something, either San Diego or New York. They're going to want something that's going to be a big exclusive item, and I could see it being like, I mean, what else do you see being like a really big item they could put out in the next year?
And what are the conventions that they tie things to? And it's really just San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con now, because we're not getting we didn't get or PulseCon or whatever.
And they said they're not doing it anymore.
So yeah, I mean, it could be a year before we see Globulus. Don't know.
Oh, Rexship has a good point too. With you can technically add the Once a Man Cobra Commander to the Cobra Live theme.
Oh yeah.
When did
Absolutely.
that was that New York last year?
That was San
I don't know.
Diego.
I just got him in hand. Like, he literally just shipped to me last week. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Remember,
he was San Diego last year, right?
Pulse just shipped out, or
Oh my
maybe I am the
gosh.
last person on Pulse who got their pre-order shipped out.
That's
But
crazy.
I only just got him, and he's really awesome.
Road Pig John again. G.I. Joe Classified. How many Royal Guards are you guys army building? I think Hasbro later will release its figure in a standard version with less accessories rather than this deluxe. Anyways, we have to get the deluxe version because tomorrow's are not guaranteed. Good Lord, Road Pig. You got dark at the end there. But we covered this. So good question, but we talked about it.
Yeah.
Kristian, finger wag?
Yeah, I'm saying one.
Oh, one. Yeah, right.
At deluxe prices, I'm getting one until there's a sale or something like that.
Toy Reclaimer with an interesting thought. Thoughts on the likelihood of Joe getting painted rivets now that Universal Monsters set the precedent? I would love it. Even though we've already got however many waves we have with silver rivets, I would be 100% in favor of them switching to painted if they want to, because those Universal Monsters look so much better with the painted rivets.
And we got a justification for why they're not painted.
Yeah.
I didn't really buy that as a justification.
No, he's said that multiple times. He said it when I talked to him. He said it previously at Joe Fest. In that look, in Brian Flynn's head, that's what he pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the majority of the original Real American Hero line. And I hope that they course correct at this point.
Yeah, and it's not, yes, it adds some cost to the production, but how much are we looking at?
Well, they already jacked the price up to $25 for this newest set. So,
that's true.
Yeah. Smog 17, thoughts on the Arctic Hiss tank? Well, Smog, I think we covered that pretty thoroughly. So a couple of you got in there with some stuff that we already had on the docket. So all I can say to that is good job. You rightfully predicted what we're going to be talking about. So that brings sound off to a close, and it means it's time for our final segment. One that we like to call Joe and Tell, where each of us has something G.I. Joe related that we're going to discuss here on the show. Have you guys got Joe and Tells? Well, I think one of you, Kristian, did you mention if we do a Joe and Tell?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and put you up here first. What
Okay.
have you got?
So, in part of Hasbro making sure that I'm the last person to get my pre-order shipped to me, I finally got my MMS. And let me tell you how much I love this thing.
Yeah, right?
It is big, bulky, but as I was mentioning about the Hiss tank, it's a shell of a vehicle, weapon playset, whatever you want to call it. Hasbro, put more stuff like this into the line. Yes, it is pricey, but it's not overly expensive to prevent everyone from having a chance of owning it. This now makes me even more so want some of the more, smaller vehicle, vamp type stuff in the line versus the bigger HasLab stuff. I'm excited for the Snowcat, but I've had so much fun shooting this today and just realizing if I wanted, I could buy a second one and still not pay the price that I'm paying for a HasLab, even for a Tron HasLab. And
He's
Young
great,
Man Hawk. I understand
really
totally what everybody's talking about being torn, because the helmet with the visor is perfect, but that portrait without the helmet,
right,
is, potentially a figure of the year easily. So yeah, this definitely scratches an itch that I have for affordable fun stuff in the line.
Just world building equipment type things.
And I think I was the
Yeah.
only one of the three of us who got the Cobra SMS.
I got it. I got
Oh,
it when
you
it
got
went
it?
on clearance.
That's right. You got it later on. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, I loved it because, it was holding that in my hand. It was so much bigger and more bulky because that original little vehicle is so tiny. And, it's like, all right. I mean, the missiles were large, but the little thing itself, but like this
Yeah.
thing just felt so like, I could feel the value, and it looked so great with the HISS tank and with the Stinger. And this looks, I got mine. It's funny because I ordered it in the,
Sorry, the bracers hit the keyboard.
I got it and the Ostriker shipped about 5 days apart from one another, but one shipped FedEx and one shipped DHL. So like they arrived at the exact same time.
Yeah. Right.
Now, I also want to put it out there because I'm sure in just a matter of days it'll happen. But for all of our fun 3D printers out there, we do need the standalone console for him.
It drives me nuts. My review of this is going up in a couple of weeks, just because, like I said, so much is coming out and I've got to space things out. It drives me nuts that they didn't just put a hinge on that control panel cover. That is, I think, the biggest engineering issue I've had with Classified to date. What a weird decision.
I'm kind of okay with that because hinges break.
Well, okay, not on modern stuff. I mean, it's the plastics we're using now. It's much less a concern than it used to be. But having that be a completely separate piece is so impractical. I just don't
disagree.
understand it. All right. Let's see. I'll go ahead.
Mine will take like a minute.
Oh, okay.
I have the shortest one ever.
Okay.
We talked earlier about Big Lob and having the Super 7 version come out, having the O-ring version, and I said, the one thing that I really liked about the Classified version is that it has a basketball, and the O-ring and the Super 7 one didn't. It's not out of the question for them to give you an accessory that they can't hold, Cobra Commander,
Right.
Iothona. So you think maybe he has a basketball that he just had to like kind of brace his hands together. But the good news is that Lego produces a basketball that is
look at that.
about the perfect size
Wow.
for the Super 7 O-ring figure.
That's
so
great.
my Big Lob has got his ball now. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's great. All right. So mine is just a follow-up from last week. If you remember, I talked about ordering a Strato Viper to go with the Night Raven that I got, which, by the way, cleaned up beautifully. So I got my Strato Viper on eBay. And I bought it because the pictures were just pristine in the listing. And then this one arrived, and so on the left of the screen, like if you're looking at the screen right now, the one on the left is the one that was in the listing. The one on the right is the one I received. As you can see, the visor it's not terrible, but it is scuffed. And when you're looking at the figure with the naked eye, I mean, you can tell it's a little scuffed. It obviously doesn't look as bad as the close-up picture, but this is not the same figure. And after talking about it last week, I think I talked to both of you guys, and you said, well, reach out and see what they say. So I took several close-up pictures of the figure that I received, and I said, good evening. It looks like the Strato Viper I received is not the one pictured in the listing. Did you maybe have multiples? Thanks for your time. And then I got a response 2 days later. Hi. That's the first message. I will have to check and see, friend. It's possible as I had a large lot of G.I. Joe stuff. That's the second message. Is this one not okay? I just want to make sure you are taken care of. That's the third message. And then that's the fourth message. And I mean, I think I've laid out pretty clearly that this one is not okay. I sent pictures of exactly what it was. I described my issue. And I said, if you compare the pictures in the listing and the ones I attached of what I received, it's not the same figure. There are scuffs on the one I received that aren't in the listing pictures, mainly on the visor. And that was the last message I sent on October the 7th, and I have not heard anything back.
Okay.
So, and what I paid for this was a good price. And it certainly is not going to be worth paying to return it and whatever else. So I think I'm probably just going to keep it. But I am a little annoyed.
I think I would reach out to them possibly one more time, only because when you talked about this last week, we didn't have these pictures, but even comparing the diamond in the center, granted, the version that you got with the visor scuffed, the diamond looks great compared to what's in the listing.
It's not the same.
There is no way they can claim that is the same figure. So,
well, and there are
this
others.
would be enough for
the knee
me.
pads are different. There's some paint on the back of the helmet. Like, I actually sent several pictures. This was the biggest one.
I agree with Hoffman. I would try reaching out to them one more time. If you don't hear anything, I would open up a ticket for a not as described. eBay, it's sometimes that is all it takes for the person to all of a sudden, oh, you sent messages? Here, let me definitely make this right for you.
Okay.
Even if it proceeds far enough and eBay's like, oh, we side with you, you have the option to return it for this or keep it. Like, you can make up your mind then. But
okay.
I agree with Hoffman. They absolutely played you. Or
hey, just
they
checking back in before I get with eBay on this. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's I think the most annoying Joe and Tell I've had in the history of the show. And with that, that's all the show we got for you tonight. Our next live stream is on October the 28th. Next week, we will have Pyramid of Darkness Part 4. And I'm actually excited, as opposed to some of the other things we've done, I'm excited to do the next 2 episodes because it's been a lot of fun to talk about, and I feel like it's been ramping up as we go. It's been a good one.
And listeners, I have a follow-up from Noel's suggestion last week, and let me tell you, the character that we kind of deep dive into.
Oh yeah, right.
There's some fun stuff to talk
Nice.
about.
Excellent. Well, Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about The Finest?
The Finest is a G.I. Joe costume club that has chapters all around the world, including mine right here in Georgia, the Southern Command. We raise money for a fantastic charity called Canines for Warriors, and you can check us out. Maybe you'll see us at your local convention, donate some money, pick up some cool swag, and talk some Joe. Check out thefinestcc.com or the Finest Recruitment Center on Facebook if you'd like more info. And
Kristian, where can we find that toy photography, especially that MMS? When is that stuff going up, and where?
So actually, hopefully, if it doesn't go up tonight, because I had started editing before we went live, but they'll definitely be up tomorrow morning. And you can find them on Instagram or Blue Sky under the name Legion Cub.
And as I said, our next live stream is October the 28th, which is a Tuesday. So put it on your calendar. And until then, yo, Joe.
Go.